Good to see everybody here. Thank you all for joining. As I mentioned before, we got this session recorded, so then we're gonna then share it out on the channels later on. But wanted to just start off and kick off to tell everybody, welcome again to another session. We have these weekly sessions of office hours, and today we're going to be talking about something really exciting. We're talking about Circle Dev Summit. So the Circle Dev Summit is a new series with highly curated developer side events that are happening alongside major industry conferences this year. This is something that we Dev Marketing through Circle are organizing, and we just want to talk about how important the impact is going to be, and to let you guys know a little bit more about it, how to get involved, and we're going to discuss about the details, what to expect, and then we'll open up to some Q&A afterwards. So joining us today is Jenna Teeman, our DevRel Principal Program Manager at Circle. And she's pretty much at the helm, organizing a lot of this, what's happening in the background with the Dev Summits. So welcome, Jenna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Javi. Thank you, Cletus, for joining us and everyone else. Excited to be here. Just a little bit about me. If you were joining earlier, I'm located in New York. And I've been with Circle for around 3.5 years now. So I lead the program management on the developer relations team. So essentially, how are we showing up to events? How are we engaging developers? How are we kind of, making sure that they're fully supported along their building journey by creating the right content, tooling, resources, you name it. So myself and the dev relations team are here to support all developers as they build with the Circle platform. And a big part of that too is now, kicking off these community side events, which, we'll get into with the Circle Dev Summit. But anyway, happy to be here.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you, Jenna, for joining. And as a special guest, and big huge thanks for like the last minute coming through on this is Cletus. Thank you, joining us here from ViaLabs. Cletus is a co-founder at ViaLabs, blockchain infrastructure provider, building state-of-the-art tooling on CCTP and bridged USDC standard. Cletus was actually one of our USDC grant recipients last year. And he's going to be also one of our featured speakers at the first Dev Summit in Denver. So we're really looking forward to seeing him there in a couple of weeks. Thank you for joining us, Cletus. Would you like to share a little bit about you and about your project?
Yeah, yep, absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me, both Javi and Jenna. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about ViaLabs. We're a cross-chain infrastructure provider. So anyone who is interested in going from chain to chain, that's our bread and butter. And with the Circle, or really with all of Circle's products, what we have done is build out a pretty cool product. We call it Proto USD, which blends together the bridged USDC standard and the cross-chain transfer protocol, and to be able to send and receive USDC and bridged USDC from chain to chain. And so I'm sure that's something that we'll talk a little bit more about in as this talk evolves a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, and excited to have this conversation with everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cletus, for joining us. So I guess let's dive into the nitty gritty, right? Let's get into the whole topic of this Circle Dev Summit. I think it's amazing how we just came together and decided to say, hey, let's do something different this time, veering away from that. So Jenna, let's kind of talk big picture. Like, what is exactly Dev Summit for people who are joining this call, people who watch this later? What makes it different from the traditional hackathons and other conferences and workshops?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of to your point of like, let's do things different this time, this is really our opportunity to kind of like bring our participation at a lot of these core industry side events where developers are already gathering, really kind of bring that to the next level by creating these side events, but more importantly, creating these like community networking environments where we can gather all developers who are either currently building on on Circle, looking to build on Circle, looking to even just learn about Circle and see what those connection points are and what tools and resources we offer that could be, core to what they are building. So really kind of promoting this networking space, this learning space. And a key part of these events too are bringing partners such as Cletus and ViaLabs to come in and talk about their experience, to come in and talk about, how they're building on Circle, what has that experience been like working with our team, what has that experience been like with the actual products that him and his team are integrating. So it's really just a good opportunity to kind of create this bespoke programming, to create this space where we can all gather these like-minded developers. We've participated in a bunch of these events, and the booths have been incredibly helpful. And being able to kind of understand what these developers are building and how we can service them. So essentially just taking those booths to the next level and creating this environment where we are making sure that we're creating programming that is like helpful for developers is going to be key. Like Javier said, this is our first one. So we're looking to also hear from the community around like who you'd like to hear from on the Circle side, what you want to learn about. So, we're very open for feedback as well. We want this to be an extremely collaborative and impactful environment. But lastly, as my team is really focused on helping developers build on the Circle platform, we have so many new resources, tools, products that we want to make sure that developers are aware about. So this is also an opportunity to actually have not only my team, but our product leaders come in and talk about these new launches, talk about these new features and functionalities, and the resources that we have in order to help developers build with them. So Dev Summit Denver, for example, I'll get into the agenda later, but like we're also going to be having our product leadership team come in and really kind of give the full debrief on these net new launches. So these summits are actually going to be like the first in-person forum to really have developers learn, engage, and really kind of like network with those product stakeholders live about these launches.
Yeah. Very, very, very good. Very detailed response there to Jenna. I think that covers pretty much the whole thing. I mean,
I don't get this opportunity often, so when you put me on any kind of stage, I'm just gonna get in there and
yeah,
you
and,
know,
and,
take
and
it.
Jenna does have stage experience. We know that with your comedy side thing you do, so that's pretty cool. Um, so either way, let's see. I want to get kind of also a feed of based on what Jenna was talking about, right? We're talking about the community focused, community driven type of approach that we're taking here. And Cletus is, you've been within our community for some time, either, through the USDC grant program and just working directly with our team. And, but also, being
Hmm.
on our Discord, being there. And I kind of want to get your feedback also. Like, what was it like being part of the USDC grant program, working with Circle? And then what do you think, like, what are you expecting and what are you excited about with this type of events and these types of Dev Summit events that we're having?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I would say that first, for any project that's building with Circle products or that is interested to start building with Circle products, I would say that the grant program is an amazing opportunity. But there's actually something that is before that you can join right now, and that's the Circle Alliance program. So there's the Alliance program, which then feeds into the grant program, and that's kind of the route that we at ViaLabs took, is that once Circle originally launched that Alliance program, that was a fantastic opportunity to be able to meet other projects in the space, to be able to foster a greater relationship with the Circle team. That's how, at least on my end, I was able to meet many members from all different sides of the Circle overall team. So the community managers, ecosystem, the developers, really they make themselves all available. And the more and more that you're here, present, and building in the space, the easier it is to have a great working relationship, but also just a normal, friendly relationship with many members of the team. But to kind of go into more of the grant program itself, yeah, it's a great experience. It's a little bit more of what the alliance brings to the table, because now you're working with Circle on a product that you're that's kind of being, say, sponsored. That's not the right word for it, but you're working together to build something cool with all of the Circle products that are out there. And for the dev experience coming up here, it's going to be my first time doing something like this. I'm really excited about it, but I'm also really kind of looking forward to hearing about the other projects that are out there that are building cool tools that it's something that I at least have not had a chance to look into in my normal day-to-day activities. So it gives a glimpse into what other people are building, and that networking opportunities there that you otherwise wouldn't have if you were just continuing on doing what you normally do every single day. So hopefully that kind of gives like an all-encompassing picture. For those in the audience, I'm trying to use my hands and speak, but because my video was it's not working here. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about it, and the experience so far, just to kind of sum things up, has been fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I was just wondering, like, if anybody here also on the call is also planning to be at ETH Denver. I mean, I like to kind of just, take a pulse on the people, because I know there's really a lot of movement going on right now in Discord, especially because we launched the grants, right? The grants, developer grants through Circle was introduced. Well, we just reopened the application window about a week ago. Well, actually, no, it's been actually a week and a half ago. Time flies. And there's a lot of excitement there. There's actually some people here, I think, on the call who've actually applied as well. And what was really kind of interesting about this whole community engagement, and then what you mentioned here, Cletus, about Alliance, is that an Alliance member went onto our Discord channel for the grants and interacted with an applicant. And they actually just decided to talk about how to develop the product and how they can get an on-ramp into certain regions. And this was beautiful because that's our community coming together to help others also grow. So that was just awesome to see that happen. And I'm really happy about these connections we're making. So yeah, that kind of brings me to a little bit about Dev Summit in Denver itself. It's happening in a week and a half, or almost 2 weeks and a little bit of change, but it's coming up fast. Jenna, do you have any purview on the agenda? Pretty much, I know it's a 2-day event. So what are we expecting on, like, at least day one or so?
Yes. What are we expecting? Well, one, I need to create my presentations. So that will be the most near-term expectation. But so the way that we're structuring the Dev Summit in Denver specifically is we'll have day one, which will be more of like the education, live building sessions, new product launch sessions. We're calling it kind of like more of a building day. And that's where we'll have programming that, for example, I'll give a keynote that really talks about like what opportunities Circle has for developers when it comes to our platform itself and our corresponding products, as well as like the resources. So the blogs, quick start guides, video tutorials, sample apps, new SDKs. We'll kind of run through like, okay, here's the Circle platform, but also here are actually like all of the technical resources that make it a lot easier that our team has built to get you started building. So we'll go through a lot of that. Like I said, on the product launch side, we're going to have two of our product leads talk about our CCTP v2. So essentially like our faster version of our cross-chain transfer protocol that Cletus and ViaLabs are currently building on. So we have a lot of developers who are super excited about that. As well as our new token paymaster. So this is Circle Paymaster, excuse me, that's the official name for it. And that is really where we're providing the account abstraction capabilities for end users to pay gas in USDC that actually gets automatically deducted from the end transaction. So really just, alongside creating that favorable user experience by kind of abstracting that gas experience away, or making it, in USDC versus the native token where we have actually like back-end exchange capabilities. And outside of like the product launch sessions, we also have our Circle research lead, Gordon Lau, who is actually going to be coming in and talking about all of Circle Research's open source innovations. So we have a whole branch of the company that is purely just focused on creating all of these, open source innovations for developers who are building on chain to leverage. So we'll have him coming in and talking about that. Let's see. I'm just going off my brain about this agenda. And then we've got Corey on our DevRel team, who will be running through how to build with AI and USDC. So we have two AI-focused sample apps out there right now, an AI agent-focused one and an escrow payment-focused sample app. And Corey will be walking through how to actually leverage AI and USDC for programming those escrow payments for gig economy workers, as an example. So a lot of, real world use cases, but also like corresponding sample apps that you can go and fork and contribute to as well. So Corey will be running through that. And this is just day one, by the way. And then after that, we'll be talking about compliance, everyone's favorite topic. But at the same time, Circle has a compliance engine as part of our Web3 services product line. So we'll be going through why it's so important to build compliant applications, how you can leverage our compliance engine, what core features and functionalities it has. And then after the programming on day one, it's going to be kind of like open for networking. So it's really going to be, breakfast, a couple of hours of programming, and then networking in the afternoon. We have the space. We have our BD team who will also be there taking some meetings with ecosystem partners. So that's day one, which is like more of the building day. And then maybe Javi, give us the rundown on day two, since that's more of our community day.
Yeah, I'll let you catch your breath, Jenna. You pretty much ran the whole entire event just right now through your head, and that is impressive.
Just one day.
That's just one day. I wish I could, be as detailed as you, but I will just kind of, give a high level on what day two is going to be like. Yeah, day two is pretty much going to be jam-packed with community-focused approach and events. We're going to have, live demos, which will be showcasing our innovative solutions from our actual builders, the people who are actually building these projects. Then, we'll have community members from previous cohorts of our USDC grant program, and then even current ones who might also be showing up. We'll also have, this networking opportunities. So kind of what Jenna was talking about, these brief moments when we take time between presentations where people just kind of connect, ask questions, not only to our team, but also to other folks who are going to be there. And most importantly is we'll also have, some really interesting insights from our community and ecosystem director, Sam Seeley, who's going to be kicking off the event with a really important keynote announcement. So essentially, we're going to have presentations and lots of interactions from our, key infrastructure partners, grant recipients such as Dane, XMTP, and of course our very own Cletus will be there as well from ViaLabs. And also we're going to have other partners, like AWS. Third Web also will be there, talking about the complex USDC transactions. And we'll even have a cameo from our friends at MetaMask. MetaMask team will be there as well. It's going to be community engagement, community presentations, lots of insights, and most importantly, that networking element. We're going to have, the business team meetings there as well. We'll have, his name slips my mind, Conrad, yes, from Ventures. He'll be there as well to talk to folks about the business aspect of things. There'll be projects there who'll be interested in, like, how does this work? How do we get to that next level? And I think that's also probably the most important part for a lot of people is understanding the business side and how to take their projects to that next step. So it's a very community-focused, strong event. And of course, afterwards, we're going to close off that day with a happy hour networking event. So, like I said, this is a combination of the first day education, second day community, and this is the approach we're taking now with the Dev Summits. Does that pretty much sum it up, right, Jenna? Did I miss anything? Did I leave anything out?
You got it. I think folks are going to be excited, kind of like what Cletus was saying too. Like, folks are going to be excited to network with other developers, to hear from other developers. Obviously, folks are going to want to hear from our ventures team as well. So excited to kind of bring them in to really talk about their initiatives. But day two is really just about ecosystem building, ecosystem kind of proof, and just showing that like all of these developers are really building impactful solutions. And Circle is just kind of like aiding how that happens, but we want to also be dot connectors, and we want to make sure that the ecosystem benefits from each other. And also, coincidentally, we have Jonas on the call who leads our Alliance program. So he is kind of the king of that right now. And it's awesome to see also grantees who are, graduating to our Alliance program and who are kind of being front runners for Circle in, answering questions for other developers, helping inspire other developers, being able to build alongside other developers and use each other's solutions. I think that's really cool as well. So, yeah, Javi, you nailed it. And hi, Jonas.
Jonas here. Hey, Jonas. And Sam. Sam, we
How
just
we
meet
doing, guys? Happy to be here.
up.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sam. Nice to see you.
awesome.
Things all here.
Let's see some feedback from the community. I want to see what you guys think. Any comments here? Let me just go through your comments real quick. I have to open up on my side real quick, Jenna. Please jump in too if you see anything. But I'm just trying to read these through. Let's see.
I don't know about you guys or on the community side, but there's a couple of things that I'm really excited about. And from a technical standpoint, I'm really looking forward to that CCTP V2 conversation. I think that's really gonna supercharge a lot of development, but really just being able to transfer USDC quickly from chain to chain. Currently, there's some chains like Avalanche, for example, you can do it really quickly right now because the transfer time's like 30 seconds or something. But enabling that for all chains, which is what the CCTP v2 is going to be doing, I'm super psyched about that. For day two, I'm really looking forward to Sam kind of starting everything off. It's gonna be a good day. Excited to hear about what he has to say. I don't mean to put you on the spot there, Sam, but excited to kind of put a name with a face in person. And I have to ask you about your golf game.
Yeah, I don't know if Sam's audio here. Let's see. Did he reply? Okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Cletus. I think that was going to be my follow-up question. Like, what was it that what you're looking forward to about taking away from that? But yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's pretty much what we're thinking about. Bringing in new ideas, bringing in new introducing new concepts that people may have questions about. CCTP v2, for example, is going to be a big one. I think a lot of people are asking about that. And I want to just kind of bring this back to the thought about the importance of community, right? At these dev summits, we're really leaning into a community this time to help educate and obviously to inspire other people. Like I mentioned before, this connections that we're making on Discord of people saying, "Hey, I have an on ramp. Hey, I have a a problem I want to solve," and two people connect. And this is exactly what's going to be happening at this type of events. We want to take the devs pretty much out of their seats at this type of event. We want to take people out of their, let's say, comfort zones, sitting there at a presentation, and actually come out and talk to each other and interact. And that's pretty much the key focus of the dev summits and what we're going to be expecting. So Jenna, do you have any other things to add? Maybe around sort of what are your thoughts about this? Like when it comes to engagement and what you've seen, and how do you think this is going to be something different, and how we're expecting this to play out?
Well, I think it's gonna be cool to just like see each other, kind of like what Cletus is saying. Like he's excited to see Sam, so I get that. Who wouldn't be? But it's gonna be really awesome to kind of see each other in person. I think too, like we're gonna have on day two, we're gonna be having MetaMask come in actually and get some signups for their USDC debit card. For a lot of these events too, we're looking to do a lot of live activations, as well as like continue to have speakers come in and talk about their experience. So I guess my ask is, if you're interested in speaking at one of these upcoming dev summits, so the next two will be in Dubai alongside Token 2049, as well as alongside ETC in Cannes or Cannes, I never know. But we're going to have a speaker application form that we'll be distributing on Discord. So would love for folks to kind of come in and let us know how they would love to participate and co-market with us at these events. Especially also from an activation standpoint, we're looking to work with our partners, work with our grantees, work with our community, and just like be able to spotlight your applications in more ways. Maybe Javier, it'd actually be good to talk about the Biddle Day right after Dev Summit, and how we're planning on participating there as well.
That completely slipped my mind. Actually, thank you so much, Jenna, because Biddle Day is actually going to be an initiative that we started with a partnership with Dora Hacks, and essentially it started off as like a talk about, hey, how can we promote our incentives on your platform? How can we elevate what we're doing with bounties and other grants programs? But then it evolved into something more, and we're actually we're going to talk more about that at the event. But we're going to have some of our grantees go and present at Biddle Day on the 1st of March in Denver at Upper Lamier. It's a venue that's going to be there. It's going to be pretty much a pitch competition where our existing and former grantees will have a chance to pitch in front of VCs and a large crowd of folks who would be interested in supporting these types of projects. General turnout is pretty good, like 2,000 plus people and more. And we're really excited about these types of engagements and activations too. So it's not just going to be Biddle Day the following day, but there'll be other types of activations that we're going to be doing alongside these dev summits. So yeah, just let us know. Ping me on Discord if you're interested also in participating in these, and we'll definitely try to get some of you guys scheduled in there as well. So just keep an eye on that. And kind of want to just close this off with some Q&A too. I want to hear people's feedback. Most importantly, Jenna, you and I were talking about earlier, we want to see what people want to see from these types of events. Like, we're already telling you guys what to expect, but we also want to hear your feedback to say what would you like to see? What kind of activations would be interesting to see at these types of events? So we'll just kind of leave it open for a little bit of questions right now. You can type in your questions or go on speaker.
Yeah, like what products do you want to learn more about? What like forums? Do you want panels? Do you want presentations? Do you want open networking and debugging time? Like, we're continuously like iterating how to format these events, and we want to make them the most engaging and impactful. So that's another thing that, either in the chat now or just like ping us on Discord of what do you want to, like, what would make you show up? Physically and like mentally though.
Okay, Matthias is typing. Just reading through these comments. Lucky stars. Oh, sorry about the regional restriction. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, was someone not able to get on a web page?
Yeah, I think Lucky Stars wasn't able to see a page. Not sure which one though. Let's see.
Build a wallet in 1 hour or
it was
less
the
to
docs.
hackathon.
Yeah. LATAM, South American region.
Yeah, definitely, Matthias. Like, I think this is where we also highlight the new SDKs and like replit guides that we're gonna have for that. So that's something too that like we're gonna put in like more of the programming. So it's like how to do something, but also what are the tools that Circle provides even within our docs that you can leverage in order to do this.
Good to know. Let's see a show of hands. How many people will on this call will be there at ETH Denver at least? And if you're at ETH Denver, you'd have to come by. But let's see a show of hands or ping inside the chat. There
I
we
think
go.
that could pinpoint major pain points of current Circle product offerings right now. So, Matisse, you're talking about like pain points from that we know developers have experienced, or just kind of like developer roundtable, just talking about any issues that they've experienced? Competition. Be nice to identify what the most value for builders in Circle. Yep. And that's a big reason why we're doing the compliance engine workshop, actually, because compliance engine is a core feature and functionality as part of our programmable wallets offering, and is a core differentiator, really making kind of our Web3 services a one-stop shop for building on chain. So actually that is the reason why we're leaning into, like, instead of just being an overarching like programmable wallets workshop, Matthias, it's like more of like, let's actually lean into like the compliance functionality within programmable wallets, because we see that as a core differentiator. But I agree, like leaning into the competitive angle is smart. What messaging protocol does CCTP rely on?
I want you to support Stellar.
I know, and we know.
Did that come from you?
Yes.
Silence? Yeah.
All right. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for joining.
Yes, and I see Matthias answering the questions about programmable wallets. It depends on the wallet infrastructure that you're selecting for programmable wallets. So our dev control and user controlled wallets leverage MPC functionality, and dev control essentially is like where the developer controls kind of like the private keys and all of the end transactions, whereas user controlled is, it's more of a non-custodial model where the end user actually has that control. So it really just depends on like what you want that infrastructure model to be. And then looking at this is a different question. But yeah, so I would poke around in our documentation to understand, dev controlled, user controlled, and actually we have the MSCA, so the modular smart contract account wallets, which are, unlocking other custom functionality like modules, which we're about to launch as well. So we have 3 infrastructure models for programmable wallets that developers can choose from based on how they want to kind of like control the customizability, as well as like who controls the end user transactions and private keys. So it sounds like even just with the chat, like Q&As are helpful at these events. Like I feel like we should have a while to just do Q&As, and because everyone's building on different products, maybe even for the Dev Summit Denver, I think we have like about 20 minutes for Q&As. Maybe we need a little bit longer so to let folks ask questions. And also, this is where we want to have our team on site. So for you to just engage with us directly after the programming, we're just going to be hanging around for the rest of the afternoon.
From an outside perspective, I think a Q&A would be very useful, especially potentially even like a longer Q&A, because what it does is it showcases what questions other developers have in the space, and it might spur additional just innovation too, because people are hearing about the pain points, or people are hearing about what other people are having problems with, or just maybe what they're uncertain about. That's going to cause them to now have that connection. They can physically walk up and talk to that person, but they can also just get ideas as to okay, well, where in the market are people having these issues, and now how can I go about solving them? So it really kind of accomplishes a lot of these things at once, which I think is great for not only the Circle team, because you can see where the market is at, but for everyone who's building with Circle products too, because they can build better products that way.
For sure. All right, longer Q&A going on the agenda.
Yay.
And I think, Matthias, to answer your question, I mean, we're also showing up so that like we make sure that developers don't think we're enterprise only, because that's 100% not the case. Like that's why Sam and I, like our teams exist. We're creating all these tools and resources. Like, do we have, maybe some liquidity products that are more for large scale USDC minters? Absolutely. But we have a whole technology platform for developers, and like including outside of just USDC and EURC, all of our open source stablecoin protocols and tools to make building with stablecoins easier, our wallets, our Web3 services, our smart contract platform. That's all for devs. Circle research, it's all for devs. So, we want to make sure that folks know that like we're not enterprise only.
All right, we're almost at top of the hour. We're going to leave it open for a few more questions for a few more minutes. Time flies.
I think Javi's having a little bit of audio issues, but
Can you hear
I
me
think
okay?
we can hear you, but I don't think you can hear us.
I can't hear everybody when they speak. I really am sorry if I kind of abruptly interrupt you guys.
All right, it's okay. We got through the session. I think we're good. I think we're going to continue to follow up and promote the summit. Yes, loving the comments. Circle gives treasury management to everyone. They're wonderful. We try our best. All right, I think that's it. Thank you all for joining. And yeah, we will see you in a couple weeks in Denver.
Absolutely. Oh, Rocco just asked, when's the next call? Plug in for office hours. We do these on a weekly basis, Rocco. We do these, and actually we're going to expand it a little bit more. We'll do even text-based AMAs on maybe Tuesdays or so. We'll bring more tech teams, and a lot more folks from the Circle team will be involved. So looking forward to see you guys all there. And as a last note, thank you all again for coming. Thank you, Cletus. Loved having you here, and loved everyone being here. More to come, and see y'all there in Denver. Keep building, y'all.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.